So, if you watch the entirety of my Heartbreak High video, you know that at the end I mentioned having a final idea for a Ginny and Georgia video. I say final, but final until the next season comes out. I have other ideas, but I simply don't want to oversaturate my channel with G&G content, even though those videos are very fun to make. Anyway, this is it. I'm basically turning Ginny and Georgia into Ginny versus Georgia. It's a showdown, a duel, a 1v1 on Nuketown, all of that. A few Ginny fans were really on my head top on my, the 2 videos I made about, the show. So I guess I can say all of their comments inspired and motivated me to make this video. It's time to decide who's the worst out of the 2. Choose your side, choose your fighter, because it's about to go down. You'll already know I'm Team Georgia all the way, no debate. I don't hesitate to choose Georgia. She's my girl. In what world would I pick Ginny? I wouldn't. Before we get to it though, here are some ground rules. 1. Each L is worth 1 point no matter what it is, because I would definitely give something like Oppression Olympics an infinite amount of L's, and that just wouldn't be fair. That can't run. So yeah, 1 point for each offense, no matter what it is. 2. To make things fair, everything that happened pre-Wellsbury doesn't count towards the L counter. Some of you might say this is just me helping Georgia, since most flashbacks in the show are Georgia related, and in them she's usually doing something wild, but this is really to keep things fair on a scientific level. Starting the timer at the same time in the same conditions just makes sense, and you can't not agree. 3. A little help for Ginny this time. I will not be counting all of the messed up stuff she says to Georgia. I have one exception, but things like, let's see, Season 1 episode 5 when Ginny says to Georgia, I will not be trash like you. Or in season 1 episode 8 when Ginny again says to Georgia, you're the worst mom in the world. I mean, I have a bunch of other examples, but I think you'll get the gist. So all of that stuff is excluded, and Ginny talks a lot of shit, so especially when it comes to her mom, if I left that in, she would insta lose. So yeah, all of that is forgiven, it's ignored. I'm not counting those L's for Ginny. So each side has their own advantage, so I don't want to hear complaints in the comments about, oh, blah blah blah, you forgave too many Ginny L's, or you forgave too many Georgia L's. No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Let's go. Starting off with season 1 episode 1. Ginny, after learning Padma is with Marcus, accepts to go on a date with Hunter, even though she clearly isn't interested in him. I mean, her response to him asking her out was literally, you mean as friends? Highlighting her lack of interest in him. Georgia steals from a clothing store. I mean, technically she fools the salesperson into giving her free stuff, but let's keep it a buck, it's definitely stealing. Ginny sleeps with Marcus after her little date with Hunter. She really doesn't waste any time. Georgia encourages Austin to have violent tendencies by teaching him the what do we do to bees thing. It was an iconic scene, but it's definitely bad parenting. Ginny, the day after letting Marcus hit, she goes up to Marcus, who's currently with Padma at school or whatever, salutes him, then walks off like she did something. It's a very soft L, I'm not gonna lie, but man, I gotta give it to her, because girl, what?
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
In season 1 episode 2, Ginny, who already lost her chances at becoming Virgin Mary 2.0 by sleeping with Marcus, promises Georgia that she'll go to her before losing her virginity. She didn't even have to admit she lost it. She could have just said, no, I won't come to you, I'll do whatever I want. I don't want to make a promise like this. But nah, girlie really chose to make a promise that was already broken. Georgia takes out credit cards in Austin's name. Now this one is nuts, and Georgia is lucky 1 L equals 1 point, because I would give her a lot for this. She was bugging for this. Ginny follows in her mother's footsteps and steals from a store. And you better not start talking about no peer pressure, because I don't believe in none of that. In season 1 episode 3, Georgia steals cash from the sophomore sleepover. I kinda see a pattern emerging. Ginny officially starts dating Hunter. Yes, this gets her an L because, like I said, she doesn't even like him. In season 1 episode 4, Ginny thinks Hunter doesn't really like her because he doesn't respond to the pictures she sent. But babe, you're the one who doesn't really like him. Come on now. Georgia steals from casino night. Now, twice might have been a coincidence, but thrice? That's a pattern, baby. Georgia is a certified thief. Ginny sends Marcus the very same picture she sent to Hunter. Like, girl, please be for real. She really said copy paste. No effort made. She could have changed outfit, put on, what was it, like a little bra pic? I don't know, a picture of her like in a bra or whatever. Like, could have changed bra. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. In season 1, episode 5, Georgia shoots some poor rabbit completely unprovoked. Okay, well, maybe not unprovoked. I think like the rabbit was messing up her garden or something, eating her plants, something like that, right? But killing it is so extreme. Like, it is so extreme. In season 1, episode 6, Georgia says Zach had it coming after Austin stabs him in the hand with a pencil, reinforcing once again that violence is okay. Georgia, again, still refuses to put Austin in therapy, and this is after he set her garden on fire with that other kid. Ginny looks through her mom's belongings because she can't mind her own business, and I was gonna let it slide at first, but later Georgia's gonna get an L for something very similar to this. So Ginny, hold this L. Georgia has guns in the house, and that's clearly not the best idea because she has nosy ass kids. In season 1, episode 7, Ginny's behavior on her birthday is completely trash, absolutely garbage. And I'm being nice, I'm giving her a summarized L for her behavior, but it was actually wild. Like, Ginny fans, people who are rooting for Ginny right now, I implore you to go rewatch that episode. Season 1, episode 7. Go rewatch it, please, then come back to this video. Because, oh my gosh, Ginny's behavior in that episode, it was a lot. It was a lot. I rewatched it and it was a lot. And I remembered why I'm not a Ginny fan, okay? I remember why. Ginny lies by letting her friends believe she still got her V card. Obviously, it would be tough to admit to her new little bestie Maxine that she's sleeping with her twin while also dating the V-hot V-cool Hunter. Still can't believe they said that. But yeah, Georgia steals from Paul's office friends. I have to say, Shorty's really got sticky fingers. Like, she can't keep her hands out the cookie jar, you know? Ginny snitches on Georgia by telling her friends about her having guns in the house. Nora then tells her mom, which ends up negatively impacting the campaign. I really think Ginny needs to learn to keep things to herself. Not everything she learns has to be instantly shared. Ginny allows her friends to steal from the liquor cabinet while she distracts her mom. I don't drink, but I know alcohol ain't cheap. Ginny exposes Georgia's dating history in front of Paul. Like, it was real hater behavior. She was really hating on Georgia.
Lewis the fry cook.
And it's cool that Paul, like, he was so chill about it. He didn't really care. I mean,
like Tucker.
For the guys who would be like, feel maybe insecure, embarrassed, or like, I don't know, some guys would get mad in a situation like this, but I just feel like, if you know you're that guy, why do you care about her history? I never understood that, like, caring about exes or like whatever. This ain't what the video's this ain't what the video's about. Yeah, Georgia calls the cops and lets Ginny get arrested because of the party at the Baker's, right? Maxine threw a party. But like, calling the cops on your daughter is so not the vibe. It's simply not the vibe. So yeah, Georgia, that cannot run. In season 1, episode 8, Ginny argues with Hunter and we get the infamous Oppression Olympics scene. Big L for Ginny. Ginny kindly reminds Abby that everyone has problems in response to Abby pressing M&G, so Maxine, Nora, Ginny, right? For being bad friends and not being there for her when she needed them. Georgia sleeps with Zion after telling Ginny nothing would happen. I mean, it's understandable. Zion is Zion. I mean, come on. But 1, she promised Ginny, and 2, she's dating Paul. Ginny gets caught burning by Marcus and flames him. Okay, wait. Burning in flames? Whew, I didn't see that when I first wrote this down, right? I'm gonna stick with that. So Ginny gets caught burning and she flames Marcus into leaving even though he showed genuine concern. And her doing that to him causes him to crash his bike and get concussed. So, good job. In season 1, episode 9, Ginny talks with Padma, and that's where Padma realizes that, you know, Ginny and Marcus are more than friends. And she's totally cool with it actually, but all Ginny has to say in response to this is, oh, please don't tell anyone. It's the lack of shame, remorse, and guilt for me. Georgia writes fake letters for Austin, acting like Gil. Which, you know, good intentions, but still an L. Side note, this is the episode where Abby catches Ginny with Marcus. Ginny tells Marcus she loves him, but that she also loves Hunter, which is completely cap on both accounts, really, because you cannot tell me she loved Marcus, bro. I can't accept that. She then still chooses to sleep with Marcus, even after Abby warns her that she's being selfish. In season 1, episode 10, Georgia doesn't tell Ellen about Marcus being a window climbing creepster and him sleeping with Ginny, which, you know, bad friend, you know. I think this is when Ellen is like, you're a bad mom. Time for a Ginny trifecta. Ginny can't really give a good reason for her cheating when Max and Nora find out, and she gets pressed because what could she actually say to make it better? She can't. Ginny also gets Abby in the mix, even though Abby didn't rat her out, causing Abby to also lose her 2 besties. Ginny needs a lesson in accountability for real. Like, she really tried to, like, not pass the blame, because obviously the blame's still gonna be on her, but like shine the spotlight on someone else, you know what I mean? Ginny becomes single because Hunter finds out about the cheating and breaks up with her because of this. You know, this whole argument. It's such a crazy way to find out you got cheated on. Now, the funny thing about season 2 is that Ginny really calms down in it and she's barely gonna get any L's. That's kind of a spoiler, but she's barely gonna get any L's. Anyway, in season 2, episode 1, Georgia thinks therapy is a scam, even though she would definitely benefit from going. In season 2, episode 2, Georgia throws food away to spite Ginny. Like, she really could have made a statement without doing all that. Why? I know it's fake, but you know, why throw away all that food? Anyway, Georgia has also ruined Ginny's credit score. Now, I'm pretty sure this happened pre-Wellsbury, but since Ginny finds out, like in this episode, season 2, episode 2, she finds out when they're in Wellsbury, I'm still gonna give Georgia the L. In season 2, episode 3, Georgia doesn't want Austin in the 504 plan, you know, because Georgia is low-key an enemy of progress. I don't know why she I know why she doesn't, but it's like, at the same time, I don't understand. I understand, but I don't understand, okay? Ginny's on her rat behavior by telling Marcus about Georgia killing Kenny. Like, girl, please be for real. No, this one is actually crazy. It really triggers me actually, because she was steady complaining like for a season and a half. Okay, no, wait. Episode, we're on season 2, episode 3 right now, but a season and a bit. A season and a third, right? She's been complaining, oh, my mom doesn't tell me anything, blah, 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 blah. I always have to find things out myself. She don't tell me none, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? She's been complaining. She's been complaining and complaining and complaining. And, you know, clearly, Georgia was right in thinking Ginny couldn't be trusted, because as soon as she got told something of substance, she ran off and snitched to some guy she hasn't even known for a year, bro. Like, nah, but for real, how long has she actually known Marcus at that point? So, school had already started when they moved to Wellsbury. I know that season 1, episode 5 is Halloween. Season 2, episode 1 is Thanksgiving. Season 2, episode 6 is Christmas. So I would say like a few months. 4 months. I would say 4 months tops. So deep it. This ain't no little crime. Like, this ain't no little crime that she ratted out her mom on. Like, she literally told her high school crush. So high school crush, bro, that's such an irrelevant time period. Like, you're not, I want to be a hater and say you're not going to marry your high school crush, but some people really do that and their relationships last. But you'll get what I mean by that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not her forever. I want to say that's not her forever. So she really told that person that her mother murdered someone. Murdered, guys. Like, that's big jail time. You know what I mean? Like, huh? Like, this time Ginny's lucky that 1 L equals 1 point, because I would shower her in them. I swear, man, I would just make it rain L's on Ginny for that one. In season 2, episode 4, Georgia doesn't listen to Paul when he's given advice about parenting or just whatever else. She could at least fake interest and agreement, but she just fully brushes him off, even though Paul always makes sense. I'm like, you'll know, I'm a Joe fan. Like, I root for Joe and Georgia, but Paul, I will say this about him, he always makes sense. Like, Paul hasn't said anything in the show where I was like, oh, that's crazy. In season 2, episode 5, Ginny writes a poem where she pretty much roasts Georgia, and this is the exception I was on about at the start. The only L I'll give Ginny for saying something about Georgia, but it's because sheesh, like, that poem was well written. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Ginny can know. I can't say Ginny can write. The writer, the person who wrote the poem, snap. Like, it's very well written. Even the person who wrote Zion's little and I do whatever, so I do whatever his little thing to speech to Ginny was, but very well written, but so disrespectful. Like, just put yourself in Georgia's shoes and then you go watch the little poem that Ginny read, because it was rude. It was honestly rude. Honestly, reason 873 why I'm fine and happy being child free. In season 2, episode 6, Georgia reads Ginny's diary, which, even though she had a good reason to, you know, it's still an invasion of privacy. And this is exactly why I gave Ginny an L for looking through Georgia's stuff previously. Side note, this is the episode where Austin finds one of Georgia's guns. Ginny's decision to send Austin's letters to his dad allows him to resurface. Now, you might be like, oh, that's a bit mean, giving her this L, blah blah blah, you know, she couldn't have known. But she could have known. Do you know how she could have known that Gil was a menace? By asking Georgia. It's simple. Austin went to Ginny like, oh, mom's been faking these letters, you know, blah blah blah. And, you know, Ginny could have just went up to Georgia like she usually does. You know, she loves pressing her mom. She could have just gone up to Georgia and been like, so why are you faking these letters? And then boom, problem solved. No Gil would have, you know, whatever, man. In season 2, episode 8, Georgia smothers and kills Tom, which I still think is super out of character and just for the plot. But yeah, Austin was lurking too, so yeah, big L for my girl. In season 2, episode 9, Georgia leads Joe on, which is a super mega L, because hello, Joe is the GOAT. I would have given her this L earlier on, but this is the episode where Joe holds her out on it, so here we are. Georgia still has guns in the house, which allowed Austin to get one and shoot Gil. And I mean, it was a real MVP play for him, but the trauma this boy is gonna have, even if it wasn't a fatal shot. In season 2, episode 10, Georgia gets arrested, which essentially makes her abandon her kids, but who knows, maybe she'll be out the next day, eh? The end. That's all the L's. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. I don't know. I want to say I didn't forget anything, but if you guys think of any more L's for Ginny or Georgia, then let me know. Add it to the total. Anything you think of. Now, you see the counter, so you already know who won. Of course, my girl Georgia gets the W. She gets the dub easily. Well, not easily, it's actually very close. I'm actually surprised that it's this close. And I'll say this. Of course, if we take the value, well, impact might be a better word. Anyway, if we take that into account, Georgia would lose. I mean, she's literally killed people. So if I did it like that, Ginny would win because she couldn't even compete. Like, and it would make for a very short video. So without taking value, impact, whatever into account, Georgia wins, baby. You're just gonna have to deal with that. that's pretty much all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video like always. Oh, and it's wild because in my last video I mentioned passing 100 subscribers and loving the little milestone, and now we've passed 300 subs, which is nuts, and I very much do still love to see it. So yeah, stonks, we up. Oh, and don't be scared to drop a comment. Like, I want to see when things get too hectic for me to keep replying to them all. So yeah, go ahead, go crazy. Anyway, like always, please subscribe because I still want clout. Hello. Okay, bye.